तीन भुवन में सार, वीतराग विज्ञानता, शिव स्वरूप शिवकार, नमहु त्रियोग संहार के. Okay, so we are basically talking about we have basically talked about the miseries of Nigod. Then we had talked about the other one sensory organ beings, and then in the end we had talked about the miseries of thrust paryay, thrust modification, which includes 2, 3, 4, and 5 senses being. Sometimes it feels like we are doing a class over such small, I can say, living beings, and we talk in all the modes. Like, we enjoy the class, we enjoy the representation, we sometimes mock at some things, but it feels like um, these are absolutely separate human beings, and we are unable to figure out what they are going through. So sometimes that empathy kills you. It tries to take you a little down, but fine, what else can we do? We basically are trying to learn them to save them, or in different other lives we might have been or might be such living beings or organisms. But yeah, fine. So, is there any question from so far, whatever we had studied? No? Javish, any question, my dear? Okay, so I think we should move on. There's one small task that I am giving you. The task is you have to make that chart of the jeev, the two types of jeev, Tras and Sthavar, and you have to send that chart to me on my personal WhatsApp group, or on my personal WhatsApp number, and then I'll send that chart on the group. Whosoever makes that chart most beautifully will be rewarded with something. Let's hope with what. Okay, so I think we had talked about this one. The 7th one we have talked about, and we are about to start with the 8th one. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, yes. So let's begin with the 8th one. You know the rule that I'm going to recite one line and you have to recite it after me. कबहू आप भयो बलहीन,
आप भयो बलहीन,
सबलनि करि खायो अति दीन,
सबलनि करि खायो अति दीन,
छेदन भेदन भूख प्यास, भार वहन हिम तप त्रास, okay. So basically this verse is going to be the last verse for us to have a small examination. So we'll have an objective examination. That examination will be of how many marks it should be. 25 marks examination it will be. You'll be given half an hour to have that examination. As soon as you are done with it, I'm going to delete that from there, and your copies you have to send them to me on maybe we'll no yeah send it to me or personally on my number. The entries will be taken from a particular amount of time. I'll prepare a message and send it to you on the group. Yes, Yes, Adi.
So when is the exam?
Okay, yeah. What's the day today? It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Monday. When is your holiday generally? I mean, school-wise, not at this time. Sunday is a holiday or something.
The Saturday, Sunday is a holiday, CMG.
Okay, thank you.
And 25th of May, which is a Monday, is also a bank holiday in UK.
No school.
Okay.
I mean,
But I think currently it's a holiday going on for everybody.
Yes, so schools are not open, but
Okay.
the kids get schoolwork at home, so it's not a holiday. But weekend is
Kind of.
ideal. But
Okay.
yeah, but this weekend we have Shrut Panchami celebration, so anytime after would be good.
I was thinking that we can have the exam maybe day after tomorrow or something.
Yeah, that should be fine. And if you need, we are happy to help you set up a Google form. Or
Oh, wonderful. I'll give you the question paper then. Fine. Thank you.
yes, we'll work.
Thank you very much. It will be an objective question paper. 25 questions will be given to you, and you have to answer them correctly. Fine. So this will be a small objective examination of half an hour. I hope you will enjoy this question paper. Now let's move on and talk about this last verse of the syllabus, for which there will be an exam on Thursday. Thursday is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 21st or 22nd May. The exam will be in the UK time, that is 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Will that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 6 p.m. So it will be something like 10 o'clock for me, 10:30. Okay. Fine. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's move on. And we are going to, and even the parents can also give the examination. We'll have a great time, maybe, giving those examinations. Acha. Now let's talk about every word that is coming in this verse. I had already told you the meaning of kabahu in my previous class. Can somebody tell me the meaning of kabahu?
When?
Okay, when is good, but we had
Ever.
seen. Yeah, who was that?
Ever or ever? Me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Yes, kabahu means if ever, or when will also be good, no problem. So if ever I became, aap means I, or the self. Bhayo means became. Balheen means without power, without the power to overpower somebody. So if ever I became, somebody who has lesser power than others or is a prey to others, you know what is a prey, prey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I became a prey for others. Sabalani, the predators curry did. Khayo, they had eaten me. Atidin, and I became very helpless. So if ever I became Panchendriya with mind, I became a person I became an animal which had lesser power than the others. So I became a prey to those predators who ate me and I could not do anything. Clear? Easy to understand? Darshi, was it fine?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll repeat it once again still. So what it means is, if ever I became a five sense organism, it happened so that I was powerless, and because of which those predators who were more powerful than me, they ate me and I could not do anything. Fine. So this is what it means by the first two lines. Let's talk about the other two lines. Okay. Now the words here are Chedan. Chedan is, to cut something, or, have you ever seen a farm? Just a second, everybody. I'll take the questions right now. Yes, Ashi, go ahead.
What does Ati Din mean?
Ati Din means helpless.
Okay.
Yes, Adi.
What does curry mean?
Kari means Sabalani Kari. The predators did eat me. So did.
Did.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next word is Chedan, Bhedan, Bhook, Piyas. So Bhook, I think you know this word. Do you know this word? I'll ask this to somebody. No, just wait for a second. I will ask this to Arav. Arav, do you know what is Bhook? I'm unable to make him unmute.
Hungry.
Something is wrong. Yes.
Hungry.
Oh, very good. And what is Piyas?
Thirsty.
Okay. Thank you. So thirst and hunger is what it means by bhook and piyas. Chedan means somebody, had cut something in me. They had made a cut in me. And bhedan is, again a similar kind of a thing. But in both
Pierce?
of, yes.
Just Bhedan, I mean Pierce.
Yeah, Bhedan means pierce. Yeah, thank you. So Chedan means, a deep cut is called as Chedan, and Bhedan means a small cut is called as Bhedan. So, like you might know that, does a parent know what is a nal, which is put a horseshoe? Is that a horseshoe? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I think the kids might never have seen a horseshoe, and how is it put in the horse? But that is called bhedan. Like piercing your ears is also called as bhedan, and chedan means having a cut. So Arab wants to say something. Yes, go ahead, my dear.
Nothing.
Your hand is raised. Okay, fine. So Chedan means a cut and Bhedan means a pierce. So Chedan Bhedan, Bhook means hunger and Pyas means Pyas means thirst. So because of these things, I was very pathetic and I had a lot of misery. Bhar Vahan. Vahan means what is that called? Bhar Dhona. Heavy loads, to carry heavy loads. Am I right, Shramanji?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So to carry heavy loads is called as bhar vahan. Him means, cold, the weather, winter. Atap means, extreme amount of heat. So it's summers. Tras means pain, or you can say any other kind of pain. So there are several kinds of unhappinesses or miseries which are explained in these two lines. Chedan means deep cuts. Bhedan means to have, piercings. Bhook means very hungry. Pyas means very thirsty. Bharvahan means carrying heavy loads. Him means because of, no good garments or something. They had to face heavy winters and heavy summers, and because of which they had to have heavy pain and misery in them. Tras means pain.
The voice is cracked.
Okay. Is it fine now?
Your voice was cracking.
We couldn't hear anything in the last 3 lines you said.
Oh, okay. I'll say it again. So these two lines, which we had seen, in the last of the verse, it talked about tras. Tras means pain. So in the first two lines, a different type of pain was mentioned, whereas in the last two lines, a different set of miseries are explained. Tras means pain. So what kinds of pain it was? So chedan is heavy, deep cuts. Bhedan means piercings. Bhuk means extreme amount of hunger. Pyas means extreme amount of thirst. Bharvahan means carrying a lot of heavy loads. Him means the extreme winter, and Atap means extreme summer. Clear? Am I going fine, Veer?
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
okay, okay, fine. So this is the meaning of these two lines. So if ever I got an opportunity that I could become a five sense organ being, I had to face lots and lots of miseries. Some of the miseries were explained in this particular verse, wherein it talked about the miseries like uh, Nipat Agyani, that means completely unaware or ignorant. Then I ate Nibal Pashu Hati Khaye. I killed those animals which are prey to me, and I killed them and ate them. This is one particular kind of misery. The other kinds of misery are explained in this particular verse, where it talked about the miseries like Sabalani kari khayo atidin. So I was eaten by those predators. And the others are Chedan, Bhedan, Bhuk, Pyas, Bhar, Vahan, Him, Atap, Tras. So this is what we understood by these verses which talked about the miseries of five sensory organ beings. Now there is one more verse which also talks about these. First, let's have a look over the slides. So in this particular picture, you can see that a lion is chasing this deer. So I was killed. So looking at from the lion's point of view, we can talk about the verse number 7, which said that I killed those animals which are helpless. Now looking at the deer's point of view, the verse number 8 said that I was killed by such animals which are more powerful than me, and I couldn't do anything to help myself. Fine? Okay. So I'd like Adi to please read this slide for me.
Sometimes he became less powerful, so he got eaten by others as it was too helpless.
Okay. It's quite easy to understand, nothing to explain much. Okay. Next is I want Jaivish to please read this slide for me.
It had to face lot of miseries because of being beaten, torn, thirsty, hungry, loaded, heat and cold.
Thirsty and should be hunger, I guess. I'll change it the next time. Rest all are, participle forms of these verbs. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is they had to face a lot of miseries. The miseries are absolutely endless. Because of these miseries, they have to face lots and lots of troubles. Like they had to be beaten up, they were torn, they were thirsty, they were hungry, they were loaded with heavy things. They had to face a lot of heat and a lot of cold. This is what it means by this particular verse. You can see this image very carefully, where Chedan Bhedan is mentioned here. Like you can see, I don't know whether you've seen farming or not. In farming, what happens is the nose of the bull, or I think it's bull. The nose of the bull is pierced, and because of which there is a particular ring placed on it, and because of that ring, it helps it to take heavy loads, also to thrash what is called soil erosion, or what, I don't know, what is it called, वो हल जोतते हैं ना, I don't know what it is called in English, I guess I forgot.
It's basically the harvesting method.
No, that's not harvesting.
The plowing.
Plowing, yeah, thank you. So plowing it is. So this is what is a situation where you can understand that lots and lots of troubles they have to face while living, and because of that particular, what is hull called in English? Somebody knows it?
Plow itself, I think.
Plow is a different instrument.
It's like a tractor, but a manual version of the tractor.
No. Hull I'm talking about, not where the hull is attached to. It's a plow. It's a plow.
Yeah, perhaps a plow.
Yeah, it's a plow. So maybe ask your parents to show you what a plow is, and how, because of the plow, Chedan and Bhedan, both of them take place. Because of the plow, there is a cut, which a deep cut can be seen on the neck of those bulls, and there is a particular pierce, a ring which is pierced in their noses, which can tell you about the Bhedan part also in the same case. And there's another image which is mentioned here, and which talks about the loaded part, how things are loaded into it. Okay, let's move on. Now we are talking about another, the last verse. I'm sorry, I am getting contradicted by, by myself. This will be the first two lines will be the last verse, that we have to cover in the syllabus. So these two lines are also important. So let's talk about them, and then we'll end the class. Let's see what these two lines are trying to tell us. Before that, we'll have to recite the verse, so you know the drill. बध बंधन आदिक दुख घने,
पथबंधन आदिक दुख घने.
I'd request all of you to please have a closer look at the screen. कोटि जीभ ते जात न भने,
कोटि जीभ ते
जात न भने.
अति संक्लेश भाव ते मर्यो,
संक्लेश
भाव ते मर्यो.
Very good. घोर श्वभ्र सागर में पर्यो, Oh, very good, everybody. Now, let's see what every word is trying to tell us. I'm just going to give you a little deeper thought over the first two lines, and I'll give you a very small snapshot of the other two, not a snapshot, a small crux of what it means by both the two lines. Okay. Now, there are other kinds of pains, other kinds of miseries that we are going to talk about in this particular verse. Badh. Badh is not actually badh, it's vadh. Vadh means killing. So they are loaded so much that the animals get killed. They are pierced sometimes to such an extent that they get killed. They are used in the plow in such a way that their yeah, you're going good, my dear. Acha. Whatever you have to ask me, you have to raise your hand from now on, because I've muted everybody. Badh means killing. So they get killed. This is what it means by badh. Bandhan is they are, they are closely. What has gone wrong? Something has gone wrong to me. They are captured. So bandhan is capturing. Adik means etc. You can find other types of miseries also. Dukh means misery or unhappiness. Ghane means too much, excessive amount of. Okay. Koti jeebh te. Koti means crore. Jeebh means, koti means crore. Jeebh means tongue. Just a second. Koti means crore. Jeebh means tongue. Te means te is just an extra word for it. Maybe by crore. Jeeb means tongues. Jat na bhane means to explain. So it's not possible to explain. So what is the meaning of this whole these two lines is, there are several other types of miseries that these organisms have to face. Some of them are stated here, out of which two are explained in this slide also, in this verse also. Badh and bandhan. Bandhan means they are captured and badh means they are killed. It happens so that, when the bull is unable to carry the load of the plow, it is given to those killing houses, and they get killed there, or they kill it themselves, and they cook it and eat it. So again, that also happens. So this is quite gross. This is badh. Bandhan means they are kept in capture. They are absolutely captured. Like you can see parrots. Like you can see, what are others? Several others you have examples of. Okay. Next is Next is koti jeebhte jaat na bane, is you cannot explain. Yeah, slaughterhouses. Thank you. So koti jeebhte jaat na bhane means you cannot define these miseries by your words. So even if you had crore tongues, even then it was absolutely unable for us to explain what kinds of miseries these animals had to face. So it's very touchy, and this is how they are closing this particular topic. In the end, they say that ati means too much, or yeah, that's it. Sanklesh bhavate Maryo means died. Bhavate means feelings, and Sanklesh means extremely bad or intensified. So while living, they had to face a lot of miseries, but not only that, when they are dying, even then they had to face lots and lots of pain, and because of which they die a very dreadful death. The last line says ghor. Ghor means a very deeper one, a deep. Shvabhra. Shvabhra means it's a type of hell, or it is actually hell. Sagar means where the age is very long. Like the water in an ocean is endless, the time period that they had to live in the hell is also very long. Me means in, Paryo means had to rest. So they actually do not have any place to rest, but then they still rest in hell. There is a saying, I think it says rest in hell. There is a saying which says, I guess, rest in peace, but then there's nothing like rest in hell. We have something in Bundelkhandi, it says chule mein jao. But yeah, fine, that doesn't count. Okay, so the last two lines are basically telling us. I'm reciting the last two lines again. Ati sanklesh bhavate maryo. So when this five sense organism of the Tiryanch died, it had to die a very painful death. So that painful intensified is called as Ati Sanklesh. Feelings is Bhav, Maryo is died. So they died because of extremely intense amount of pain. Ghor Shwabhr Sagar mein paryo. Ghor means deep, Shwabhr means hell, Sagar means where the Sagar also is an example for hell, because the age and the time limit that somebody has to live in that particular hell is very long. So Sagar is actually identifying or indicating the vastness or endlessness of that hell. Paryo means rest. So because of such intensified bad feelings, the person had to go to this particular place, which is called as hell. Done. So we'll only see the those two lines which we had talked about in the previous one, which said that Bad Bandhan Adik Dukh Khane. So the five sense organism, which is of the Tiryanch state, had to face lots and lots of pain while it is living. It is either killed or captured as well. Their pain cannot be explained with crore tongues, and hence they had finished off with the miseries of this five sensory organism. Let's have a look over the verse, over the slide. Okay. Ashiji, would you please read this slide for me? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
As an animal being, it was hunted, captured, etc., and had to face many miseries alongside.
What is your age, Ashi?
7.5.
Oh my God, that's really wonderful. I'm very happy.
Actually,
Sorry.
I'm nearly 8.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. You're such a grown-up girl. Very good. I was just wondering that such a wonderful way these kids are taught. They know where to pause, where to give which kind of intonation. I'm very happy about it. Okay, so this particular verse explains that they were hunted, they're captured. Not only this, whatever we had talked about in the other verses also is to be counted here. So many miseries they had to face in their life, and because of which this has been a very bad experience for them. Next, who else do I have? Yeah, somebody is saying something. Yeah, go ahead, please. Adi. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sayamji, in the 9th verse, initially we say that let's say, for example, taking the example of the bull, who is pierced and works hard on the farm, plowing, etc. So the first two lines say that the pain that is suffering as a living being it can't be explained through 10 million tongues. So crore is 10 million in UK.
Yeah.
But then why does it then go? Why does the five sensory organ then go into sort of hell? Because I mean, is the suffering of as a living being, or is the suffering as a hellish being?
The answer to your question lies in the verse only, and that is Ati Sanklesh Bhavate. So because of this, they go to this hell, a place called hell. This is also mentioned.
But why? Why do they go? Because I mean, they haven't done a pap as a. Let's say if
No.
they were a bull on a
Yeah,
farm.
yeah. Okay, fine. I think you have heard of this particular. What is that called? Tatvad Sutra. There's a granth called Tatvad Sutra. Yeah. Yes. There's the reason behind going to this particular places. bahuaramb bahuparigrahatvam narakasyayushah. But there is one more other definition to it. Whenever you live or die with extreme intensified feelings, bad feelings, you go to narak. That's what it means.
Okay, got it. So because of the intensifying extreme feeling.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. That was very clear. Thank you.
Yeah. It's so that, matlab, just for explaining this particular situation, you can understand this, that there are certain situations where we feel more unhappy than actually being unhappy. What I mean to say is, I can be captured somewhere and I can be slapped until I die, maybe beaten until I die. It is my wish to be unhappy about it, experiencing the pain and knowing that it is painful are two separate things. We experience the pain to such an extent that we think that we are unhappy because of this body or because of this particular life form. Even in the worse and worse scenarios, you really do not need to have intensified feelings. We are intensified because we think that there is a ray of hope somewhere. We think, we wish that these miseries could go off somewhere else, but then they are not going to go. So whatever you are into, the feelings of intensified structures are just absolutely imaginary, and you are feeling it, you're experiencing such feelings because you are helpless. You think you are helpless. Am I okay? Where is he? Okay, so am I fine?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay,
very-
okay. So this is how you can, basically understand, like anything can go wrong, but it is you who decides that something is wrong with you, nobody else. Okay, so I'd like Veer to please recite this, read this verse, this particular slide. I'll have to unmute him. I forgot. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Its pains cannot be said through crores of tongues. Eventually, it died with very hideous feelings and landed in the form of a hellish being.
Thank you very much. So this is what we conclude, that we had seen Nigod